Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. May Triple bless you all. Today also we can continue our Dhamma talk about Mahasatipatthana Sutta, where in Vedanānupassanā, the contemplation of the feeling aggregate as feeling. Now, in this Mahasatipatthana Sutta, Buddha mentioned 9 kinds of chitta viti, or the mental process, according to the Vedanānupassanā. But this Vedanānupassanā means before practice Vipassana, this is the mentality meditation. You need to discern all mentality here, and then only you can do the Vipassana. Now, we move to, because in this Vedanānupassanā, you have pleasant feeling, Sukha Vedana, and the painful feeling, Dukkha Vedana, and neither painful nor pleasant feeling, that is the Adukkhama Sukha Vedana. And then Buddha mentioned Samisa Vedana, that's the feeling which is related to the sensual plane. So therefore we can say sensual feeling. And then other one is Niramisa Vedana. Niramisa Vedana is the non-sensual feeling. Or we can say sensual feeling is the Gehasita Vedana, or the connected with the family life. And non-sensual feeling is the Nekkammasita Vedana, or the connected with the renunciation. In this way, many names you have. So therefore, in the case of Nekkammasita Vedana and the Gehasita Vedana, we move to Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya to get the information, more information to you to understand. Therefore, last day we finished about Gehasita Somanasa Vedana, Gehasita Somanasa Vedana, Nekkammasita Somanasa Vedana. And Gehasita Domanasa Vedana, Nekkammasita Domanasa Vedana. And now we still have to do, or to understand, to learn what called Gehasita Upekha Vedana and Nekkammasita Upekha Vedana. So after finishing that, in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, we can do our Mahasatipatthana Sutta. And we can see in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, please go to number 308. Number 308. Yeah. Now, Tattha Katama, if you need, you can take the, it's Attakatha, but we just move without Attakatha also, right? Okay, now it says, Tattha Katama cha Gehasita Upekha. But herein, Tattha Katama, what are the 6 kind of equanimity based on the household life? Buddha asks the question and then gives the answer. So that is what is called Katetu Kamyata Pucca in Pali. So Tatta Katama Cha Gehasita Upekha. How many in this, according to this Dhamma talk, what are the 6 kind of equanimity feeling which is connected to the family life? So it explained in this way. Chakuna rupan disva uppajjati upekha. Balhasa, Mulhasa, Putujanasa, Anodijinasa, Avipakajinasa, Anadinava Dasin, Anadinava Dasavino, Asutavato Putujanasa. Explain to whom this kind of Vedana or the Upekha Vedana or the equanimity feeling arises. So it explained in this way. On seeing the visible object by the eye, Chakuna Rupan Disva. On seeing the visible object with the eye, Upajjati Upekha, the equanimity feeling arises to whom Balhasa Mulhasa. Balhasa kyane in a foolish one, or we can say to the silly one, in a silly one. Mulhasa mean confused one. And Putujanasa, the ordinary person. Anodijinasa mean Anodijina mean who had not conquered his defilement. Odijina mean here Odijina mean Odi mean the we can say Odi mean the boundary or the limit. So the Anodijina mean the limit of defilement. And so here the his defilement anyway, who had not conquered the defilement, and Avipaka Jinas, not conquered the result of the action, and Anadino Dasavino, who is blind to see the danger of the sensual plane or whatever the plane. Asutavato Pustujanas. Asutavato means he's an untaught ordinary person. Untaught ordinary person means he's not having any knowledge of the Buddha Dhamma. That's the meaning. So to him, such kind of person, to him there arise Upekha Vedana. That is what is called Gehasita Upekha Vedana. Gehasita Upekha Vedana, that means the equanimity feeling which is connected to the household life. Ya eva rupa upekha rupang sa nativattati. Na ativattati kan nativattati. Ativattati means transcends or surpass. So then ya eva rupa upekha, such equanimity as this, ya eva rupa upekha rupang sa nativattati. It doesn't transcends the material object. That means he can't understand the reality of the materiality and not see the Nibbana after that. That's the meaning. Tasma sa upekha gehasitati buchyati. Therefore, such kind of upekha is what is called equanimity based on the family life. So again, it's called Ajnana upekha. Ajnana upekha. It is not associated with the wisdom. Again, you need to practice in this way also. That means this is the practice, right? This is the practice. Because if you do not have any vipassana knowledge to practice vipassana, if we see some material object, we also having we can generate this kind of upekha vedana, which is equal to that foolish man. So in the same way, sotena saddam sutva, then all six sense doors you need to go to your sota door or the ear door, and then gahanena gandhan saitva, you need to discern your nose door, jivhaya rasang saitva, you need to discern your tongue door, kayena pottabam pusitva, body door, and manasa dhammang vinyana uppajjati. So manasa dhamma vinyana mean you need to discern your actually not to discern here. You need to you take some object from the mind door, and then upajjati upekha. Balhasa, Mulhasa, Putujanasa, Anodijinasa, Avipakajinasa, Anadinava Dasavino, Asutavato Putujanasa, Ya Everupavpeka, Dhammang Sanati Vatati. Dhammang mean here in the case of Manasa. Into the Mindo, what is the object of Mindo is the Dhamma object. So therefore, this Dhamma object doesn't transcend. Such kind of upekka vedana, they arise to the foolish man. So to him, Dhammang sanati vattati. Dhamma object doesn't translate. So tasma sa upekka geha sitati uchati. In such kind of upekka also, we can say that is also family connected with the family life, which is equanimity feeling. Ima cha gehesita upekka. Those are the 6 kind of gehesita upekka. That means if we are not protect our 6 sense doors, then we just associated with upekka vedana, but it is not associated with the wisdom, vipassana wisdom like. So then we generate these 6 kind of upekka vedana, which is connected with the family life. Again, so then what is the nekkammasita vedana? Tatta katama cha nekkammasita upekka. What are the 6 kind of equanimity feeling connected with the renunciation? Nekkammasita upekka vedana. Actually here not mentioned vedana, but we need to take that. That is in related to the vipassana. So therefore, rupanam tveva aniccatam viditva viparinama viraga nirodham pubbe cheva rupa etarahi cha sabbete rupa anicca dukkha viparinama dhammati eva metang yathabhutang sammapanyaya passato uppajjate upekha. What is the meaning? Rupanam tveva aniccatam viditva. By knowing the impermanence, change, right? Anichatang viditva, viparinama, change, and viraga, fading away, and cessation, nirodham. Anichatang viditva, viparinama, viraga, nirodham viditva. In this way, you need to take the meaning by knowing the impermanence, change, and fading away, and cessation of the materiality object. When one sees rupanam tveva, when one sees in materiality object, super rupanam tveva, pubbe cheva rupa, pubbe mean in the past, as well as cheva mean as well as rupa etarahicha, sabbe te rupa anicca, in the past also. So then so we can say, take the meaning in this whole sentence, taking the whole sentence, I will tell. So some here in this way, rupa pubbecheva rupa etarahi cha sabbete rupa anicca dukkha viparinama dhammati evametang yathabhutang sammapanyaya passato uppajjati upekka. So evametang yathabhutang sammapanyaya passato mean by the proper vipassana knowledge, sammapanyaya passato mean. So therefore I will tell again. By knowing the impermanence, change, and the fading away, cessation of the materiality object, when one sees it actually is with the proper wisdom by vipassana knowledge, that means, and that material object, both formerly and now, are all impermanent, anicca, dukkha, viparinama dhamma, all impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, then equanimity arises. Then pasato uppajjati upekka, equanimity arises. Ya eva rupa upekka, such equanimity in this type, rupang sa ativattati. Sa upekka rupang ativattati. That means this type of upekka transcends the material object. That means transcend the material object means first you want to discern the object, right? That is also transcend the object, but real transcend is with the with the total cessation of the materiality. That is in the Nibbana. So that means Vipassana, which leads to the Nibbana. In this way, you need to practice here you need to practice, but in the case of Gehasita Vedana, you don't need to practice. That means you know it is not a practice in related to that. That is our according to our taking the object by every 6 sense doors. Here also you need to practice every 6 sense doors. Therefore, it says Sadhanam cheva, Gandhanam cheva, Rasanam cheva, Pottabbanam cheva, Dhammanam cheva, Anita tang vidita. That means you take the sound object and then you take the order object, flavor object, and then the tangible object and the Dhamma object. In this way, if you see by your Vipassana knowledge, Yathabhutam Sammapanyaya Passato, if you see it's by the Vipassana knowledge, proper knowledge. So such kind of feeling, upekha feeling or the equanimity feeling there arise, that feeling which transcends the materiality object. So therefore it is the nekkammasita upekha vedana. Okay. So now you know what are the Samisa Vedana and what are the Niramisa Vedana. Samisa Vedana means the Gehasita Vedana. Niramisa Vedana is the Nekkammasita Vedana. Samisa means the English meaning is the sensual feeling, and Gehasita means the feeling connected with the family life. And then again Niramisa feeling means the non-sensual. And then again say Nekkammasita, same meaning, Nekkammasita Vedana, that is the Vedana or the feeling which is connected to the family, renunciation. So what are the 5 types of renunciation? That is according to the Atthakatha, I will explain, right? But here we don't have time today to go to Atthakatha, but just I will tell, right? It says, those are the additional point to you. And what is the meaning of nekkam? Nekkam means the renunciation. So I have mentioned this many times, this stanza. Pabbajja patamajjanam nibbanancha vipassana. Sabbepi kusala dhamma nekkammoti pauchere. What is the meaning? So nekkammati pauchere mean it is said as renunciation. Those 5 kinds of, what are the Pabbajja mean the ordination as a monk or nun, or we can say going forth, and that means you give up your household life and enter into the monk or nun life. That's the meaning. So then Pabbajja, why Pabbajja? Pabbajja is the first, that means going forth or the ordination. And then Patamajjhana, if you attain to the first jhana, that is also Nekkhamma. I will explain. And if you Nekkhamma, then Vipassana. If you do the Vipassana having entered into the jhana, and then that is also Nekkhamma. And then if you practice Vipassana, that there arise Nibbana in your mind. So Nibbana also, Buddha mentioned, that is also some kind of renunciation. And then Sabbepi Kusala Dhamma. Sabbepi Kusala Dhamma means, then now Patamajjhana Vasena, Patamajjhana Vasena means, Buddha mentioned first jhana is the Nekkhamma. But then you know now, Anusati Vasena, you have Anusati meditation, Buddha Anusati, Dhamma Anusati, Sangha Anusati, like Anusati meditation. And then Vipassana, as well as the other 8, from second jhana up to the 8th jhana. That means second Rupavachara jhana or the fine material jhana, second, third, fourth. And then you have Arupavachara jhana, 4 kind of. So what are they? Akinchanya Akasananchayatana jhana, base of boundless space. So then you have again Vinyananchayatana jhana, the base of boundless consciousness. And then Akinchanyayatana jhana, and base of boundless nothingness, base of nothingness, and then you have neva sanya, na sanyayatana jhana. That is the base of neither perception nor non-perception. That is the eighth jhana. So all are now sabbepi kusala dhamma. All are the all kusala or the wholesome deeds. Now, how you know if it is pabbaja, how it is nekkama, and then we just go to see nekkama sita vedana there. So pabbaja mean now you know according to Atakatha I will explain. Right, pabbaja mean going forth or the ordination. So then ordination as a monk or nun. And when you review your, in this case, in the pabbaja, how there arise somanasa vedana. So for example, in the case of when you review your morality or the virtue, sila, sometimes it may be more perfect. Then there arise pleasant, non-sensual feeling in you. Pleasant, non-sensual. So that means samis, niramis. Or nekkammasita somanasa vedana, they arise. But when you review your sila or the virtue, if it is broken somewhere, so then you develop painful feeling, non-sensual. Painful feeling, but non-sensual. Why? Because you are considering your sila. Considering sila, and then there arise non-sensual, unpleasant feeling or the painful feeling. So that is then therefore, you know how in the pabbaja or the ordination, how there arise this kind of vedana, non-sensual as well as sensual. And you know now, because it is become renunciation, because you know you give up your household life. So therefore it is renunciation. How about the first jhana? The first jhana, what is the feeling of first jhana? There's the happy non-sensual feeling. Why it's non-sensual? That means sukha, niramisang sukham veda in the first jhana. Happy non-sensual. Because you transcend the what called sensual world or sensual plane, you transcend and you enter into the first rupavachara plane, or we can say that is the first fine material plane. So that is the renunciation. Therefore, it is what's called renunciation. So therefore, you know, first jhana is the renunciation because it transcends the karma world. Okay, and then second jhana, third jhana, you know, second jhana, third jhana also, you have happy non-sensual feeling. Niramisa sukha. Niramisan sukham vedana. Or we can say happy non-sensual feeling. And then fourth jhana, what is the feeling? Fourth jhana, niramisang adukkama sukham vedana. Or we can say fourth jhana, you have niramisa, that means that is the non-sensual, adukkama sukham, non-sensual, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. They arise in the case of fourth jhana, or we can say that is the upekha vedana. Simply, upekha vedana. So in the case of fourth jhana up to the eighth jhana, so you have upekha vedana. That means niramisang adukkama sukham vedana. Niramisang adukkam sukham vedana means nekkammasita vedana. You know, those are the second jhana, first jhana, as well as second, third, fourth, every jhana, you know, those are the strong supportive causes for the samatha and vipassana. How? So you know, if you have first jhana, then it is conducive factor to the second jhana. So therefore, a strong first jhana is strong and powerful conducive factor towards the towards the samatha meditation. And based on that jhana, if you do the vipassana, and that means that is also strong and supportive causes for the vipassana also. So that's the meaning. So therefore, so first jhana, Therefore, first jhana as well as the other jhana also, that is the renunciation. And then vipassana. When we come to the vipassana, what is the feeling, in the Udayabhaya Jnana stage, while practicing, especially the knowledge of arising and passing away in stage, Udayabhaya Jnana stage, then there arise intense pleasant feeling. Intense pleasant feeling may arise because as you know, vipassana upakilesa mean there arise 10 kinds of vipassana upakilesa. The first one is obhasa mean the very excellent light. And then obhasa piti, there arise, you never feel that kind of joy in your mind there arise while practicing this udayabhaya jnana. So that is what's called piti. And obhasa piti passadi mean, that is the calmness, there arise calmness. And then sukha mean there arise sukha vedana while practicing udayabhaya jnana stage. And this sukha vedana is, intense pleasant feeling. It is related to the non-sensual. Why? You are practicing vipassana. You see very clearly your five aggregate as well as your causes for the five aggregate very clearly. So that means you are, and at that time there arise sukha vedana into you. Actually, those are, I didn't mention everything, but those are the everything mean every vipassana upagradation. The other one is, jnana. Jnana means wisdom, and sometimes there arise more mindfulness, more virya, or the effort, and then your concentration become more powerful and strong. You never experienced before, and and again there arise some equanimity you have never felt before. So that kind of upeka also, what is called, we can say that is also vipassana upakilesa. The other one is nikanti. Nikanti means longing for vipassana, to do the vipassana, longing for to do the vipassana. Every time your mind goes to the vipassana. So that is the longing, nikanti. So such kind of vipassana upakilesa, when you come across to that kind of vipassana upakilesa, then sukha vedana also there. So then that kind of sukha vedana is the pleasant feeling, but nekkammasita. Nekkammasita means that is in related to the renunciation. And how it become now renunciation again. Renunciation mean then now again. Actually, in while practicing vipassana, you give up your defilement by means of tadangappahana. Tadangappahana means temporary, part by part. Part by part. That means while practicing kayanupassana, in relate to the kayanupassana only, you destroy or you abandon your kilesa or the defilement. But while practicing Vedanānupassanā, only in related to the Vedanānupassanā, there abandons the defilement. So in the same way to the other anupassana also, then what is called Buddha called tadanga pahana, part by part abandonment of the defilement. So this is because of that reason, that is also renunciation. So now how the renunciation, and then what kind of vedana they arise in while practicing vipassana. But again, when you practice vipassana, there arises sankharupeka jnana, the formation equanimity knowledge there arises. So sankharupeka jnana means there appears neither painful nor pleasant feeling. So that is also niramisa. So that means Buddha said you should touch this type of feeling. And now anusati meditation. Anusati meditation, that is also renunciation, right? Anusati meditation. Sabbepi kusala dhamma. So anusati meditation means, while practicing Buddha anusati, so on anusati meditation, you may reach up to the upachara samadhi. access concentration. So that means you give up your 5 hindrances. So it's renunciation. You give up. Renunciation means give up. So it is now it's renunciation, and then there arise usually sukha vedana. That sukha vedana also in related to the renunciation. And again, nibbana. The final one is nibbana. All you are transcended to the supramundane world from other mundane world in while reaching to the nibbana. So therefore, it is renunciation. So you know now 5 kinds of renunciation: pabbajja, or the ordination as a monk or nun, and then again first jhana, vipassana, and nibbana, and all other kusala dhamma like second jhana up to the 8th jhana, as well as anusati meditation. So all are now what called it is what is called renunciation. So because of that reason, but here in this Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, it says about the vipassana, and especially the vipassana, pointing out the vipassana. So you need to understand this thing, and then we just move to here in this. Actually, while practicing Vedanānupassanā, especially, so I wanna emphasize you that when you practice Vedanānupassanā, first you should discern all kind of feeling. All kind of feeling mean all 9 types of feeling you need to practice, and whether they are sensual or non-sensual, because all 9 kinds of feelings are the object of vipassana. Because of that reason, you need to practice mentality meditation first. Okay, now again we will go to our Mahasatipatthana Sutta, and now up to okay, now let's go to our Attakatha. Yathacha Sukhang, evam, because Yathacha Sukhang means just as Sukha Vedana, now we finish Sukha Vedana up to that, right? Evam Dukkhang, pe Niramisang Adukkam Sukhang Vedayang Vedemano, Niramisang Adukkam Sukhang Vedanang Vedayami iti pajanati. So now if you go to the Desana Pali, how Buddha mentioned in Desana Pali, you can move to Desana Pali. Katanchapana bhikkhave vedana bhikkhu vedana su vedananupassi vihara. Bhikkhu, how a bhikkhu contemplate, a bhikkhu abides contemplating a feeling as a feeling. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu sukhang va vedanang vedayamano sukhang vedanang vedayamichi padyanati. In this asana among a bhikkhu, while experiencing a pleasant feeling, he understands that I am experiencing pleasant feeling. In the same way, all Vedana, we will go to Niramisangva adukkam sukhang vedemano, Niramisang adukkam sukhang vedayang vedayamiti pajanati. When a bhikkhu or the meditator experiencing a non-sensual pleasant feeling, non-sensual neither painful nor pleasant feeling, and he understands that I'm experiencing neither non-sensual, neither painful nor pleasant non-sensual feeling. So that means nekkammasita vedana, or we can say niramisa adukkam sukha vedana. So up to that, now this Attakatha teachers are gonna explain in this way. How? So then it says, Yathacha sukhang evam dukkhang te niramisang adukkam sukhang vedanang vedemano niramisang adukkam sukhang vedanang vedayami iti pajanati. So up to that, in the same way as sukha vedana. So then mentioning sukha, dukkha, adukkama sukha, samisa and niramisa, so on vedana, then What is the explanation thereafter? Iti bhagava rupakammattanam kathitva arupakammattanam kathinto yasma passavasena chittavasena va katyamanam pakatang nahoti andhakarang vya khayati vedananam pana uppatti pakatataya vedanavasena pakatang hoti tasma sakkapanye vya idapi vedanavasena arupakammattanam kathesi. What is the meaning? I will explain. Iti bhagava rupa kammattanam katitva. In this way, the exalted one generally teaches materiality meditation first, and then arupa kammattanam katintu, and then Buddha is gonna teach you mentality meditation. Arupa kammattanam katintu yasma passavasena va chittavasena katyamanam pakatang nahoti andhakaram kayati. If you are not very obvious to discern the mentality by way of contact, passavasena or chittavasena, contact all the consciousness, because those are in the mind movement. You know now mind movement contain 4 aggregate. What are the 4 aggregate? Your Vedana aggregate or the feeling Vedana Khanda, Vedana feeling aggregate, and then your Sanya Khanda, the perception aggregate, and then your Sankhara Khanda, formation aggregate, and then your Vijnana Khanda, consciousness aggregate. So then, now you know, sometimes according to your knowledge or your previous age practice, that means previous past life practice, sometimes if you are not very obvious to discern the mentality by way of contact or the consciousness, which can be seen as a darkness. Here it says katyaman chittavasenava katyamanam pakatang nahoti andhakarang kayati. It can be seen as a darkness. That means it's not very clear to your mind. Then Vedanānam pana uppatti pakatataya vedanavasena pakatam hoti. And because of that reason, while you practicing, if you the Vedana aggregate or Vedana mental factor is very clear to your mind, then exalted one teaches you mentality meditation by way of the Vedana or the feeling aggregate. But you know now in this section, but it is still not the vipassana, right? That is the mentality meditation. It says very clearly, iti bhagava rupa kammattanam katentva arupa kammattanam katento, mentality meditation, right? Still the mentality meditation. Vedanānam pana uppatti pakatataya vedana vasena pakatan hoti tasma sakkapanye idapi vedana vasena arupa kammattanam katesi. This sentence is very, very important. This everything are important, but to clarify what Buddha's intention towards this Vedanānupassanā, so this paragraph is very, very important. So there, you keep it in mind this paragraph. So then now just to discern mentality meditation and approach to the mentality meditation only this. So therefore, in the same facts, the same facts are mentioned in the Sakkapanya Sutta Atthakatha. We moved there, right? And in that commentary, it says in this way. So now, because of that reason, Buddha. So therefore, in the case of Sakkapanya Sutta, also Vedanavasena Arupa Kammattanam Katesi. So therefore, Buddha mentioned here the mentality meditation by way of the by way of Vedana or the feeling. What you need to understand that. And again say tattha mean in this Sakkapanya Sutta, we finished those things. Tattha duvidanghi kammattanam rupa kammattanam arupa kammattanam. So here it says duvidanghi kammattanam. According to that is actually to the vipassana, right? To the vipassana, you have 2 kinds of kammattana or the meditation subject. there are two meditation subject to the Vipassana meditation. The first is Rupa Kammatthana, the materiality meditation. And the second one is Arupa Kammatthana, ch mean and, right? So Rupa Kammatthana, Arupa Kammatthana. In this way, what is the meaning? So anyway, there are two kinds of meditation subject for the Vipassana. The first one is Rupa Kammatthana, the materiality meditation, and then Arupa Kammatthana, the mentality meditation. Please take into the mind. And Adi Kathamaggo Sakapanye Vutta Nayaneva Veditabo. So we move there, and then what they are mentioned, I will tell again. Just it mentioned when you see the vipassana, when you see the Vedana mental factor in the mind movement, Vedana never arises alone. It says Vedana never arises alone. Vedana arises with the passa or the contact and with the other mental factors as well as your mind. So therefore, if you see Vedana and then the other mental factors and the mind are just obvious to your mind, because Vedana mental factor is very prominent than the other mental factor. That's the thing. Vedanānang uppatti pakatataya. That means the Vedana, arising Vedana in my movement is very prominent. That's the meaning. Okay, Tattha, right. But actually, this thing, why I went there, we finished those things, right? I again try to understand to you to very clear comprehension what is the Buddha's intention here. Samisangva Sukanti Adisu Samika Samisa Sukhanama Panchakama Guna Misita Panchakama Guna Misit Guna Misa Sannisita Cha Gehasita Somanasa Veda. We finished those things while going to Sakkapanya Sutta, and to the again I just moved to what called Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta. We actually in this Mahasatipatthana Sutta, you can learn many suttas, right? Many suttas, because I explain every suttas with regards to the Vedanānupassanā, but you just go one day, you just go there to understand many other things also. Actually, I will tell another information to you. Now you know what's the Buddha's intention about the Vedanānupassanā. It is the mentality meditation subject. That must be your answer. And then the Vipassana. Actually, if you do the mentality meditation, and then you need to do the Paccaya Pariggaha Jnana, or the cause discerning knowledge, and then again you need to do you need to practice what Lakkhana Chatukka, Lakkhana Rasa Paccapatthana Padatthana, and then only you can do the Vipassana. So this is according to the Buddha's way, and other all ways are not according to the Buddha's teaching. So while Exalted One is giving Dhamma talk about materiality meditation, especially material meditation subject, he explains, 4-element meditation. Just keep it in mind, 4-element meditation in two ways, usually brief way as well as in detailed way. So in the brief way is pointed out in Mahasatipatthana Sutta, and Mahagopalaka Sutta, Diganaka Sutta, we went there, and but in the case of detailed way is pointed out in Mahahatti Padopama Sutta. That is also I have given Dhammadesana, maybe two Dhammadesana I have given, because this Mahahatti Padopama Sutta is very long. So therefore I have given taking 2 sessions. And the Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta also we finish almost. So here according to the Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, Pukkusati King, how Pukkusati King, how the Buddha has given Dhamma talk to the Pukkusati King and attain to the Anagami state. And then Maharahulavada Sutta also, it mentioned in details way the 4-element meditation. And the other thing is the Vibhanga second book, of Abhidhamma. They also Buddha mentioned, pointed out the four element meditation. So now both of them, detailed way as well as the brief way, are pointed out in Visuddhimagga. So we are now after finishing our samadhi kanda, or the concentration aggregate in the Visuddhimagga, you just we can move to how to practice four element meditation again. So therefore, in both of them, in the detailed method as well as the brief method, pointed out fully in Visuddhimagga. So you can practice four element meditation so either as brief or then detailed way. So while teaching the mentality meditation, the exalted one generally teaches it by contemplation of the feeling. Vedanānupassanā, contemplation of the feeling. But here in the case of Vedanānupassanā, I mean, there are three ways to practice mentality meditation. To approach the mentality meditation, that is by way of contact, and by way of Vedana and the consciousness. So you need to understand those things. This is the summary again I will tell you. And now, how then? To some meditator, when he practice mentality meditation subject, the contact that arises with the contact of the material object become very clear to his mind. And to another, feeling mental factor that arises with the contact of the materiality object will be very clear. And for somebody, what is the obvious to his mind or her mind? Consciousness. So then in this way, you need to go to practice mentality meditation. Please keep in mind, this is the real Buddha's teaching. Okay, now again, let's move to our Desana Pali, right? Desana Pali. And then what it says, iti ajjatan va vedana su vedanānupassi vihirati. Mentally, iti ajjatan va vedana su vedanānupassi vihirati. Bahiddha va vedana su vedanānupassi vihirati. Ajjat bahiddha va vedana su vedanānupassi vihirati. What is the meaning? Here that meditator or the bhikkhu abides contemplating feeling as feeling internally, va bahidha, va bahidha, or externally, then va ajjata bahidha. Va mean both internally and externally. That means, what is the meaning? That means by discerning, pleasant feeling and the rest of the feelings in the mind movements internally and externally, or sometimes internally, sometimes externally. So that means your mentality meditation here mentioned, right? Mentality meditation. But before practicing mentality meditation, you must practice the materiality meditation. Keep it in mind, that's very important detail. And anyway, now that means this is the mentality meditation. Iti ajjatang va kayanupassi, iti ajjatang va vedana su vedanānupassi virati means that is the mentality meditation. Approaching as Vedana only, both external as well as internal. Right? So then if you do the Vedana mentality meditation and as well as the materiality meditation before, so then you are eligible to practice the other kind of vipassana jnana. That is what is called, what is that? That is the Pacca Pariggaha jnana. So here Buddha mentioned vipassana jnana. Vipassana jnana. In this mentality meditation also, again Buddha mentioned the vipassana jnana, because materiality meditation, mentality meditation, those are the initial vipassana jnana. The initial means the first vipassana jnana that must be developed by your mind. So then again, therefore now you reach to you must do Pacca Pariggaha jnana, cause discerning knowledge. So after that, Sammasana jnana. Sammasana jnana means you need to now practice vipassana as anicca dukkha anatta, and then udayabhaya jnana. the arising and passing away knowledge. So how it says? It says in this way. Go to Samudaya Dhammanupassiva Vedanasu Viharati. Samudaya Dhammanupassiva Vedanasu Viharati. Vaidhammanupassiva Vedanasu Viharati. Samudaya Vaidhammanupassiva Vedanasu Viharati. What's the meaning? Samudaya mean arising. Vaya mean, passing away. So Samudaya Vaidhammanupassi mean because of arising of the avijja vedana arises. In this way, that means you need to first practice paccaya pariggaha. Because of the arising of avijja, your vedana arises. Because now 5 causes for the present aggregate. 5 past causes for the present 5 aggregate. What are they? Avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, and then your clinging, upadana, and sankhara, that is the formation, volitional formation, we can say, and then your karmic power, karma sati. We just we discuss again in the Visuddhi Magga also. While when we go to Arahant quality, so we just finish those things. Now 5 courses to the present aggregate, 5 aggregate. So you need to discern. That means you need to go to your past life and second past life. Before that, you need to discern first past life, second past life, third past life, up to many more past lives. So therefore, how you want to practice? Because of arising of avijja, vedana arises. So because of arising of the ignorance, then the feeling arises in you, in your mind. And then because of the arising of craving, tanha, vedana arises in your mind, right? Whatever the kind of vedana. And then because of the arising of clinging, because of the rise of clinging, that means upadana, vedana arises. In this way, you need to practice. And then because of the arising of sankhara, vedana arises. And then because of arising of the karmic power, then the vedana arises. But here, you must shift to your first past life, second past life, like that. Otherwise, you can't do this practice, this discernment. Now, so in this way, you need to practice your paccaya pariggaha jnana here. In the case of samudaya dhammanupassiva vedanasu viharati, vaidhammanupassiva vedanasu viharati, while samudaya vaidhammanupassiva vedanasu viharati. So what you want to practice is your paccaya pariggaha jnana, and then vipassana. Actually, so the meditator is seeing, now seen the arising of Vedana and passing away of Vedana in both causal and momentary situations. Causal means those are the 5 causes to arise this Vedana in this very life. And momentary mean wherever you can see the 5 clinging aggregates. So then if you see the 5 clinging aggregates, they are arising and passing away, that is the momentary. Momentary mean this is in the mind moment. If the mind moment, they arise Vedana with the other mental factors. So now those mental factor arises as pass away. Mind and the mental factors taking the object arises and passing away. So this is what is called momentary arising and passing away. But you have still causal arising and pass away. So what is the causal? That means causal mean your avijja, tanha, upadana, sankhara, kamma, like 5 causes. So now while practicing this, I explained this thing in Kayanupasana. I did teach you this thing. So then, therefore, you sometimes practice arising of Vedana, sometimes practice passing away of Vedana, and sometimes you practice arising and passing away. That's the meaning. So then, how you want to practice everything? And it says. Okay, let's move to now to just see what explained in the Atthakatha. India Tagala. You now know iti ajatam vati evam sukha vedanadi parigahanena attanova vedanasu parasava vedanasu kalena attano kalena parasava vedanasu kaye vedanasu vedanānupassi virati. What is the meaning of iti ajatam va mean? Sukha vedanadi parigahanena. Here it says first you want to in this way, evam mean in this way, sukha vedanadi parigahanena, by the meditator who discern, paragraha mean discern, who discern the sukha vedana, di means sukha vedana, so on and the rest, right? So if we practice those things, attanova vedana, so first in you, first in attano mean first by oneself, right? First in you, and then parasava vedana, so the others, right? Bahidda mean others. Kalena attano, sometimes in you, kalena parasa, sometimes in the others. You need to practice in this way. Then only your mentality meditation fulfill. If you practice in you only, they are not fulfill your mentality meditation. Even to the materiality meditation also, I did teach those things in the past in the Kayanupasana. Okay, now what is the samudaya Vedanānupasivāti et pana avijja samudaya vedana samudayoti adihi panchahi akarehi vedanānam samudayancha vayancha passanto samudaya dhammānupasiva vedanasu virati vaidhammanupasiva vedanasu virati kalena samudaya dhammānupasiva vedanasu kalena vaidhammanupasiva vedanasu virati iti veditabbo. Whatever I explain you, pancha mean you have 5 causes like avijja, craving, clinging, sankhara, or the formation and the commit power. So such kind of pancha mean, then you have again you have pancha mean again you have 5 aggregate. So you need to now compare, or you need to discern the causal relationship with your 5 aggregate as 5 aggregate with your past causes. That's the meaning here. And now when you practice in this way, you can practice vipassana. But you need to practice again Lakhanadi Chatukka, that means the characteristic, function, manifestation, and the proximate cause, like 4 defining devices. After practicing these 4 defining devices only, you can practice Sammasana Jnana. Sammasana Jnana means this is the starting of Vipassana. In the Sammasana Jnana, you need to see your Dukkha Satya Dhamma as well as Samudaya Satya Dhamma. What is the Samudaya Satya Dhamma? This is the Samudaya Vaidhammanupasiva. According to this section, you need to discern your Pacchaya Pariggaha Jnana. That is the Samudaya Satya Dhamma, the second noble truth, Dhamma of the second noble truth. So if you do this discernment, and then you are eligible to practice Vipassana. How you want to practice? First, you want to take your Dukkha Satya Dhamma. Dukkha Satya Dhamma. So, for example, if you are a Samathayanika meditator, here, then you first enter into the usually 4th jhana. 4th jhana. But whatever jhana you have, Buddha emphasized this 4th jhana very. The Buddha likes to this 4th jhana because why? 4th jhana gives much more power, light of wisdom than the other meditation, other jhana. So how you want to practice? You just want to create your what called the mental processes. When you are a Samathayanika Vipassaka, then you need to enter into the 4th jhana. Because Buddha praises 4th jhana much more. So therefore enter into the 4th jhana. But if you do not have 4th jhana, whatever the jhana you have, that means before 4th jhana, 3rd jhana, 2nd jhana, or the 1st jhana, no problem. But 4th jhana is the best. And then enter into the 1st jhana, then you take your Dukkha Satya Dhamma object in the Sammasana jhana first, and then practice Vipassana as Anicca for a long time, Dukkha for a long time, Anatta for a long time. And but emphasizing your whatever the mentality or the materiality, all 3 phases, arising, the standing, as well as passing away phases. Considering all three phases, you can do vipassana as anicca for a long time, dukkha for a long time, as well as anatta for a long time. In this way, practice, you need to practice every object, every dukkha satchidam object. That means this noble truth of suffering, dhamma, and noble truth of the cause of suffering, dhamma, or the phenomena. You need to practice. So if you practice in this way, and then you need to go to practice udayabbe jnana. In the udayabbe jnana, especially practicing your samudaya satcha dhamma, or we can say those are the whatever the dhamma you discerned in the Pacchaya Parigga Jnana state, especially taking those kind of Dhamma, you need to, as well as Dukkha Satya Dhamma also, but you need to, here you need to practice by emphasizing your arising and passing away phase on. You just forget about the Tithi. You don't pay attention to the Tithi or the standing phase in the Udayabhaya Jnana stage. So while practicing in this way, in the case of Udayabhaya Jnana, there arises vipassana upakilesa, just I mentioned before, and then your vipassana jnana become more powerful to practice bhanga jnana. Bhanga jnana means the dissolution knowledge. Those jnana, because we are every time we show those kind of jnana, those kind of jnana, or we can say those kind of wisdoms, and actually now you need to understand this thing also, because I just mentioned what is the causal relation, causal arising and passing away, as well as momentary arising and passing away. So causal mean usually a causal is related to the in the case of materiality. What is the causal past causes, right? Past causes only the your kammaja rupa, or the materiality born by the kamma. Those are the you have past causes. Avijja, tanna, upadana, sankara, kamma, like past causes you have only in the kamma born materiality. But so therefore that is the causal causes, right? Causal arising, causal passing away. But in the case of mind-born materiality, what is the cause for the mind-born materiality? That's your mind in the heart. So therefore, it is the present cause. So that is not the past cause. So you need to understand this theory. And in the case of temperature-born materiality, the temperature-born materiality is generated by your fire element in the Rupa Kalapa, right? Subatomic particles. So fire element in the previous Kalapa is the cause to generate new temperature-born materiality. So you can understand the fire element of the previous Kalapa is the cause to generate the new Uttuja Rupa, or the temperature-born materiality. And in the case of nutriment-born materiality, nutritive essence or the oja, that oja is the cause to give the next generation of the materiality. So that is what's called nutriment produced materiality. So that means the previous kalapa oja is the cause, not the previous kalapa oja or the nutritive essence is the cause to arise new materiality, aharaja rupa, or the nutriment born materiality. In the case of nama khanda, that is related to the rupa khanda, or the materiality aggregate. Now, in the case of nama khanda, only resultant consciousness, there are 5 causes, right? To generate resultant consciousness. For example, what are the resultant consciousnesses? So your chakku vinyana, or the eye consciousness, is resultive, and then resultant consciousness, chakku vinyana, sota vinyana, gahana vinyana, jivha vinyana, kaya vinyana, And then, sampatichana, that means the receiving consciousness, and then samtirana, investigation consciousness. So those are the resultant material, resultant. And then your tadaramana, registration, mind movement, also resultant. The other all are, for example, javana mind movement, and the those are what is called kusala or akusala, unwholesome or wholesome. But in the case of your panchadwara vajjana mind movement, or your manodwara vajjana mind movement, that means five-door adverting consciousness, mind-door adverting consciousness, such kind of mentality, that means mind movement, are functional. So here only resultant consciousness only, you have five causes to arises. That means avijja, tanha, upadana, sankara, kamma, like thing. So now actually, so this resultant consciousness has then both present causes and the past causes. So for example, now that means actually this is the proximate cause. The near, that means in the case of present cause mean proximate cause. The other are real remote cause, we can say also. Remote cause means avidya, tanha, upadana, sankara, kamma. Those are in the past life. So therefore, those are the remote cause. Then these are the proximate cause. What are the to arise my movement? What is the main thing? Your object. Without object, you don't have you can't arise. Your mind doesn't arise without an object. So therefore, object is one cause to the present, and then your base. For example, heart base, and then your eye base. Like all bases are present causes, and then contact, passa, is the cause, and your attention, or you can say wise attention or unwise attention. So those are the present causes. Object, base, and contact, like mental factor, and attention especially. So now this resultant without past. So the non-resultant, that means your kriya mind or functional minds, and the wholesome and unwholesome mindsets, those are only have present causes. But resultant mind movement, or the resultant mindsets, which have some five past causes as well as present causes. So at this stage, in this Sudhyabhaya Jnana stage, you should know that because of the arising of cause, five clinging aggregate arises. And actually, now because of complete cessation of the cause, right? Complete cessation of the cause, five causes, and then five aggregates cease completely. Then actually, in this way, you should discern this causal arising as well as the causal passing away. And then you should actually discern again, as soon as these five clinging aggregate five clinging aggregates and their causes, they arise, they pass away. So that is the momentary arising and passing away. So therefore, to the resultant, you just need to clarify, to this resultant mind movement, there are two causes. Mean you have past causes as well as your present causes. So we can say present causes are the proximate, past causes are the remote also. So another way of this explanation. You should know those things. So therefore, okay, now in the same way, you need to practice five aggregate in this way. Okay, now let's move to our Attakatha again. Ito parang kayanupassanayang mutta nayameva. After that, whatever we discussed just in kayanupassana, or our materiality meditation, and in this way, you need to understand the rest of things. Kevalam hi ida vedana parigrahika sati. Okay, before that, we again move to this our Desana Pali, because the Desana Pali we just didn't finish. And then it says in this way, go to in the Atti Vedanati va Panasa Sati Pachupattita hoti. Okay. And the next stage, Atti Vedanati va Panasa Sati Pachupattita hoti. Assamin of him, Sati, mindfulness, Pachupattita hoti. Establish. Mindfulness is perfectly established. Atti Vedanati. Mindfulness established. And this is there is feeling. There's feeling in the mind movement, not in the body, right? There's feeling in the mind movement. Like mindfulness is now established in the meditator. Actually, this is again say Yavadeva Jnanamattaya Patissati Mattaya. That means Jnanamattaya means this is just a mere mindfulness and mere wisdom only. Not the being, not the being, not the person, not anybody. Only just your mindfulness and the wisdom. But actually here Buddha mentioned only mindfulness and wisdom. But without the other mental factor, can the mind arise? Cannot, right? So therefore, you need to understand here. Buddha mentioned sati and the jnana, wisdom and the mindfulness. But you need to understand there you have ekagata or your concentration, and then virya or the effort mental factor, saddha, like everything you have. But Buddha emphasized two mental factor only. Try to understand. And that mean that mean no person, no being. Actually, what this refers to Bhanga Jnana to Sankharopekka Jnana. Now we finish up to Udayabhaya Jnana, and then this is the case of Bhanga Jnana up to Sankharopekka Jnana. Why? Why it says like that? Because while practicing Bhanga Jnana up to the Sankharopekka Jnana, you can only see your materiality and mentality and their causes only. Why? Those are the ultimate materiality. You can see very pure ultimate materiality. You can see your Rupa Kalapa or Nama Kalapa. They are in the Sankaropeka Jnana state. So therefore, you cannot see any beings or the person while practicing up to the Sankaropeka Jnana, the formation equanimity knowledge. So that's the meaning. Actually, then we go to other one. Anisitocha viharati. Anisitocha viharati means he abides independent. He abides independent. Why he abides independent and not checking chiloke upadiyati, not clinging to anything in the five aggregate worlds. His loke means five aggregate world. Here, what is the meaning? Here only your feeling aggregate world. Feeling aggregate world. But you know now five aggregate is there in the mind movement also. You have five in the mind movement. You have four aggregate. What are they? Mind movement mean your Vedana aggregate and Sanya aggregate, Sankhara aggregate, as well as consciousness aggregate. But you know this mind is rest on the base, heart base especially, and the eye base like that. So therefore, you have five aggregate. But here you need to emphasize only your feeling aggregate. Feeling aggregate. While seeing the feeling aggregate, you need to practice vipassana as anicca for a long time, dukkha for a long time, so on. Okay. Therefore, you don't now. Actually, if you attain here, actually now it says in this way, nachakinchi loke upadiyati. And now not clinging to anything in the five aggregate world. Then Buddha said, so what is that? What is that? That means actually, if you contemplate all five clinging aggregate first, and then emphasizing feeling aggregate systematically, and when your insight knowledge gets matured, that means your panchabala, panchindriya, and the saptabhujanga dhamma, saptabhujanga dhamma. If you they are also matured, you will attain noble path. Noble path, and noble path will destroy defilement gradually, step by step. That means stage by stage. So if you attain arahantship in this way, so you will you will abide independent because you are not clinging to anything. So not clinging to anything in the five aggregate world. This is the arahantship. So therefore nachakinchi loke upadiyati means anisitocha virati nachakinchi loke upadiyati means arahantship. So try to understand. So this is the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha mentioned in this way, another way. So that is the what is called desana vilasa. So evam piko bhikkhave bhikkhu vedanasu vedanānupassi viharati. This is the conclusion, right? Evam piko bhikkhave bhikkhu. That means in this way bhikkhu, in this way monk, bhikkhu, a monk, vedanasu vedan evampi. In this way also, right? In this way too, bhikkhu, monk, vedanasu vedanānupassi viharati. In the he abides contemplating the feeling aggregates as feeling aggregate, right? So why it called evampi mean then you have another meditation subject also, Chittanupassana, or the contemplation of the consciousness as consciousness. So therefore, Buddha mentioned this is the conclusion, but you have another, right? Okay, now let's move to again Attakatha. Kevalam hi ida vedana parigrahika sati dukkha sacchanti. What is the Kevalam mean? Merely or as a whole, either mean in this Vedanānupassanā section or the contemplation of the feeling aggregate as feeling, Vedana parigrahika sati, the mindfulness that discern the Vedana mental factor, right, is the dukkha satcha. Dukkha sacchanti, and that is the dukkha satcha because your present five aggregate. This is the your present five aggregate. Sati is your what is this sati? Sati is including sati belongs to your formation aggregate. So therefore, this sati now discern your vedana in the mind movement. So all are five aggregates. So therefore, so five aggregate mean Buddha here only sati is mentioned, but you need to understand this is the five aggregate, right? If you one mental factor for aggregate, if Buddha mention one mental factor, that is the four aggregate. And but these four aggregate in our like five aggregate world, you know, now your mind rest on your heart base or the other bases. So therefore, this mindfulness which discerns the Vedana aggregate, that is the dukkha satcha, the noble truth of suffering. Evam yojanam katva vedana parigrahakasa bhikkhuno niyanamukang veditabbam. That means whatever the explanation in the Kayanupassana, so then again it says in the Kayanupassana in this way. So the sati is the dukkha satcha, and then the craving in the past life is the samudaya satcha. If you mention the craving, you need to understand avijja and the upadana also there. So therefore that is the samudaya satcha, and again it says again ubinnang nappavattan nirodha satcham, like that it mentioned there, right? It mentioned there. I'm telling like that. But what is that? Ubinnang nappavattan means that is the if you non-existence of both dukkha satcha and the samudaya satcha is the nirodha satcha, noble truth of cessation. And then what is the practice which leads to the cessation of the both dukkha satcha and the samudaya satcha, that is the magga satcha. In this way, everything evam yojanam katva vedana parigrahakasa bhikkhuno. In this way, you need to understand, and having done in this way, having done that construction, yojanam, having done that construction, Vedana parigrahakasa bhikkhuno. Now that bhikkhu or the meditator is practicing the Vedanānupassanā. So for the meditator who practice this Vedanānupassanā or the contemplation of the feeling aggregate, so niyanamukang veditabbang. Niyanamukang means this is the doorway of the doorway to the liberation. Niyanamukha mean doorway to the liberation should be understood. So tesang tadisame sesang tadisamevati. The other thing also, other thing mean sesang tadisamevati mean the whatever mentioned in the Kayanupassana, in the same way you need to understand. So today we finish our Vedanānupassanā section. So this is the understanding, and if you have some question, you can ask, Mr. Pankaj.
Vandami Bhante.
Sukhi Hotu, Dr. Steetal.
Yes, Bhante. So every time, like you explain, whenever like we took the example of the Chakku Vijnana. So every time, like whenever the object comes and the Chakku Vijnana take that object and then the Vithi starts. So that Vithi we are saying it's a Kiriya, right? Or the first, not the whole Vithi, but those mind movements, right? So those are Kiriya, but it has, as you mentioned, always those remote causes and the present causes, and that makes the whole Vithi, and it goes on whether that will be Kusala Chitta Vithi because Kusala Javana and Manasikara, like whether how, but all those are in the past as well as the present, and that makes the whole process Kusala or Akusala. Is that we are understanding, Bhante?
Yeah, actually, to the resultant consciousnesses, right? For example, Chakku Vijnana, like Fido consciousness are the resultant. And Panchadwara Vajjana, Manodwara Vajjana, like consciousness are the functional. So the Javana, mind movement, anyway, Kusala or the Akusala. So now this is the Fido mental process, Chakku Dwara or the Ido. And now before touch the object to the Chakku Vijnana, so now three kinds of bhavanga my movement there arises. In the Atita Bhavanga mean whatever the my movement in the heart base, whatever the Bhavanga my movement in the heart base, and then when the Chakku Vijnana or Chakku Prasada touch the object, then your Bhavanga Chalana arises. Bhavanga Chalana. That means that is the vibrating Bhavanga as well as then Bhavanga arrested. Bhavanga arise. And there arise Panchadwara Vajjana mind movement in the heart base before Chakku Vijnana. Because as soon as that the material object touch the Chakku Pasada or the eye sensitivity, so there arise Panchadwara Vajjana mind movement in the heart base, firstly. And but this Panchadwara Vajjana mind movement is the Kiriya mind, not the functional or the resultant. Sorry, not the Kusala or Akusala or the resultant. And then there arise Chakku Vijnana in the Ido, not in the heart base, right? Secondly. And again, in the Sampatichana arises in the mindo mean in the heart base, right? The Sampatichana it is the resultant. Chakku Vijnana is the resultant, my movement. Santiran also resultant my movement. You can understand because why I am telling like that, because if you go to the Chitta chart, those are in the ahetuka mind movement, or we can say ahetuka mean non-rooted mind movements. Those are. So, but those are all are non-rooted mind movement. You can have Kiriya or the functional as well as the resultant, right? So 15 types of mind movements are resultant, and 3 kinds of mind movements are the functional. So therefore, while practicing in this way, Chakku Dwara, you can have now Chakku Vijnana, Sampatichana, Santirana are the what called those are the resultant mind movement, those having remote causes as well as the proximate cause, or we can say causal arising and passing away. You want to see here? as well as the momentary arising and passing away also you want to hear, because this is the mind movement, right? This is the mind movement. These mind movements are always arise, always pass away. So then arising and passing away everywhere you can see. So that is the causal. Sorry, that is the momentary. But when you discern the 5 past cause in the first life, and then if you see the arising of Chakku Vijnana, that is the causal arising, right? Causal arising. And again, Vattapana is like Manodwara Vajjana, that means mind adverting consciousness, that is also functional. And then there arise Javana, 6 kind of Javana. Those Javana mind movements are maybe Kusala, maybe Akusala, not the functional or the resultant. So therefore, those kind of functional, like Vattapana like functional, and the Javana like unwholesome or wholesome mind movements are only having present causes only. That means base and contact and the object like causes, right? Yoniso or ayoniso manasikara like causes. And then Tadaramana. Tadaramana mean, Tadaramana mean you have 11 types of Tadaramana. So for example, Vipaka minds. Vipaka minds mean you have 8 kinds of Mahavipaka mind, great resultant. In the Sobhana, beautiful mindsets, you have 8 kinds of great resultant mind movements. So those 8 kinds of great mind movements, as well as your in the ahetuka sides, non-rooted side, you have santirana, 2 kinds of santirana and 1 kind of 2 kinds of somanasa sahagata santirana and 2 kinds of upeka sahagata santirana and 1 kind of somana sahagata santirana. So investigation mind movements. So those investigation mind movement 3 and these 8 kind of great resultant mind movements are altogether how many? 11. So out of those 11 mind movements, 1 mind movement comes to the Tadaramana. The same mind movement then arise as a second Tadaramana. So Tadaramana anyway, so Vipaka, that's Tadaramana. Tadaramana has remote causes as well as the proximate cause. So then you can understand in this way. Got it?
Yes, Bhante, can you repeat again the Tadaramana, that 11?
Yeah, Tadaramana 11 mean you can in the okay, Mr. Pankaj, please go to Chitta chart in the Sobhana Chetasika, right? So not Sobhana Chetasika, Sobhana mindsets. Or we can say great resultant. Yeah, okay. Here you can see in the Chitta chart, then rooted Sobhana, right? Sobhana sensual plane, you have beautiful consciousness, right? Sensual sphere, beautiful consciousness, 24 types of consciousnesses categorized by in this way, by the Buddha, wholesome or the Kusala 8. And then Vipaka or the resultant 8. Second sets of 8. Like, yeah, functional, third sets of 8. Right? So the Kirya, the second set of 8 is the now this Tadaramana is the second sets of 8. That means resultant. How many Tadaramana? 8 kind of, right? 8 kind of second say resultant mind. And then those 8 kind of, and then go to the non-rooted, right? Non-rooted, you have Akusala, how many mindsets? 7. Ending with the equanimity, investigating. That means that is the Santirana. And then you have 2 kinds of Santirana: pleasure investigating in the Kusala side, and equanimity investigating. That means 2 kinds of Santirana. Associated with the Piti is the pleasure, non-associated with the Piti or the enjoyment factor, that is the equanimity. So how many? Altogether 3. So these 3 kinds of mindsets and those 8 kinds of mindsets in the beautiful side, all together, how many? 11. So out of 11, 1 comes as a Tadaramana. But those are Vipaka, no? Resultant. Right? Resultant mind movement. So then you need those results in mind moment. You have remote as well as proximate causes. Got it?
Yes, Bhante. Yes, Bhante. Thank you so much, Bhante.
Yeah. Okay. Sukhihotu.
Bhante, we have one more raised hand, Bhante.
Okay.
Please go ahead, Milind.
Milind.
Nami Bhante,
Sukhihotu.
thank you so much for this is an incredible talk again today.
Okay, sadhu,
you,
sadhu.
you mentioned that the cause for the matter is karma based, and for the mind it's hard. So
yeah, mind in the heart.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Why karma is for the mind, karma doesn't come into play here.
Here, you know now, what is our karma born materiality? Those are, you know, our eye translucency, eye chakku, or the we can say eye dakad kalapa, right? Eye dakad kalapa. That means there you have chakku pasadarupa. So they including chakku pasadarupa or the eye translucency, or we can say eye sensitivity. So this and this is also karma born, right? Karma born.
Yeah.
And then in the ear also you have again ear where your ear consciousness arises. That is the sota pasada, like all five sense doors you have such kind of thing, right? And then your heart base you have again hade vattu rupa. That is also comic bone.
Right.
And then again your bhava rupa, or the what discern your, or what determine your sex, that is what's called bhava rupa, or the sex materiality. So those are also karma born. And then again you have another karma born materiality, that is what's called jivita navaka kalapa, life nanat kalapa. So these are the karma born, right? That is the cause is karma. But
okay.
Yeah, now when you in the case of chakku vinyana, they arise in the eye base, right? And then again sota vinyana, they arise in the ear base. In the same way, in the nose base, and in the tongue base and the body base, there arise consciousnesses. But those consciousnesses cannot produce materiality. Got it? But in the case of the mindsets, all mindsets except but Patisandhi, or the what call birth linking my moment, birth linking my moment, except the birth linking my moment, or other all mindsets, they arise in the heart base that can produce mind-born materiality. Even those are kusala mindsets as well as akusala mindsets. Even jhana mindsets and your magga phala mind, right? They are those those mindsets can develop or can generate your materiality, mind-born materiality, right? For example, you can see it while practicing after Parliament, and then when you practice the what call mentality meditation and the materiality meditation, you can see every materiality, right? Every four causes of materiality you can see as if you are seen by the eye, right? But your what called the meditation mind, you can see.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Question is, Bhante ji, when we have these different five objects for the five sense doors, as well as we have mental objects for the mind. When it comes to Nibbana, I wonder, Buddha told us that is it a more like a physical object, mental object, or maybe both? Definitely
Nibbana?
mental object. Yeah,
you
Nibbana.
mean Nibbana?
Yeah.
No, Nibbana is not the physical object or the mental object. that is the object in the supramundane world. That is not the mentality and the materiality, because it transcends the mentality and materiality. Okay.
Okay, but it can still be comprehended by mind.
Yes, you can see, like if you see the Patibhaga Nimitta in the Anapanasati meditation or whatever the other kasina like meditation, you can see the Patibhaga Nimitta. In the same way, you can see whenever while you are practicing the meditation, Vipassana meditation, and if you see total cessation of your whatever the object, mentality or the materiality object, whatever take while practicing, finally practicing, then you can see very clearly all mentality and materiality cease without remainder.
Yep.
At that time, that is the mundane cessation, right? Mundane total cessation. And at that time, after that moment, there arise Nibbana in front of you through the light. Got it? Like when you see while practicing Anapanasati meditation, first you want to practice your in breath, out breath, and the touch point, and then if you see the Parikamma Nimitta, but before you didn't see, and then Uggaha Nimitta, before you didn't see, but the Patibhaga Nimitta also before you didn't see, but it comes into your mind. In the same way, Nibbana also, you can see Nibbana very clearly. Right?
Okay, Bhanteji, that's helpful. But it is not categorized either material or mentality, because it transcends everything.
Transcends, yeah.
Understood. Thank you so much, Bhanteji.
Okay.
Sadhu, Bhante. I do not see any more raised hand, Bhante.
Okay, then we just finish our Dhamma talk. So we accumulate the kusala, and then we will share to all of the being in the world. So you also recite with me. Idamme punyang asavakhaya vahang hotu. Idamme punyang nibbanasa paccayo hotu. Mama punyang bahagang sabbe sattanang bhajimi. Te sabbe mi samang punyang bahagang sablabantu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Buddha sasanang chiram tithatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you very much, Bhante. Again, what a wonderful discourse today, Bhante.
Yeah. Next day we will start Vedanānupassanā. Sorry. We will start the
Vedanānupassanā. Yes, Bhante. Yeah.
Chittanupassana. Yeah.
So we finished Vedanānupassanā section today. I just wanted to remind all the participants, if you have not taken any meditation object from Bhante, we encourage you to please reach out to Bhante and get that meditation object and start practicing. Just learning theory is not going to be sufficient enough. Please do that. Take it. Bhante is so willing and so much compassionate to teach that if we don't take advantage of the actual practice and learning it from Bhante, we'll be missing out a lot. So we definitely encourage all the participants to do that. Anybody who wanted to do it, please reach out to us. We'll make sure that you get connected with Bhante and you take the object from Bhante and report your progress to Bhante on a weekly or a daily basis, whatever is convenient to you. Bhante, do I have your permission to end the session here today, Bhante?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Bhante.
Okay, Sukhi Hotu.
Namo Buddhassa.
Namo.